Welcome back, everyone. Here we are. We are ready to go to see if this thing starts. I picked up some oil, a filter. I'm going to put water in it for now, just in case there's any leaks. I don't want to waste the coolant. Once it's running, then we'll see if it actually gets up to temperature. The cooling fans turn on, and then it cools down. And then I'll turn it off, then drain the water out, and then top it off with coolant. So I went to Walmart. Walmart pretty much, I went to two of them. They ran out of everything. I picked up some of their full synthetic 4-stroke. It's 10W30. It's their ATV and UTV formula. But I read on the back it's good for wet clutch systems. So essentially it's the same thing, just a little thinner weight. Normally I would get the 10W40. And then I picked up the good old Fram filter because this one is kind of a little beat up from when it was shipped. I mean, if you like Fram filters, you don't. I mean, I've been using them for 20 years on pretty much cars, motorcycles, ATVs, you name it. Never had any problems with them. You know, I know some people frown upon these, but it is what it is. I mean, if you got metal shavings or something in your engine, there's no filter that's gonna reverse that kind of damage anyway. So, Fram filters good enough for me. I'm not a racer. I just fix them and ride them. That's it. And then I picked up their extended life concentrate. Get the concentrate because it is concentrate. It's not diluted. You actually, the diluted 50/50, it's like $8. The concentrate is 10 or 11, something like that. So you get actually 2 gallons out of it instead of 1. All right, so let's top this off, and hopefully we have a good eBay engine here. In the meantime, I'm gonna connect the charger because this battery is toast, it's not producing anything. Back in the garage today because it's a pretty crappy day. It's cold and rainy, and we are running out of nice days. I think that's it for nice days. It's going to be below freezing from here on out, which is to be expected coming up on Thanksgiving, of course, in Chicago. All right, let me grab a small funnel and we'll start topping this off. Get this old filter out of there. Man, that's bad place there. The other side. That is on there pretty good. Eh? It's pretty badly dented up. That filter's pretty badly damaged, so I'm gonna have to do the hammer and screwdriver trick. For those of you that are gonna use a Fram filter on your for your oil changes, this particular model uses a 6017A. Puncture it through the top. So I'm toward the back part or not the back, the front part of the filter. You just want to puncture it through those hex-looking serrations or forming that's in there. You want to stay away from the actual threads, because if you put the screwdriver in there too close, you will damage those threads. So I've done this on many different motorcycles and cars. I used to work on Porsches, and we had to do them on those as well, because they were just such a pain in the butt to get out after so many miles. A lot of oil on this exhaust, so it's probably going to smoke a little bit. Give you a better idea. This is where I punctured. This is where you could put a tool. Stay away from this part of the filter, because you will damage the threads. Wife's gonna kill me. Got oil everywhere. I commend those you guys that actually do this in your house. You know, being married with 3 kids, that is not an option. You always got to think happy wife, happy life. And putting motorcycle parts and motorcycles in the house, in the living room, in the basement, definitely not gonna make a happy wife. But anyway, let's move on. It's a little tad bit shorter, maybe a 1/4 inch. Very hard to get in there with the exhaust there. Could have put that in a better place. Just hand tightening this. Don't get crazy, guys, because then you can't get it off, and then you gotta stick a screwdriver through it like I did. So I looked up online, and it says it needs a two quarts with a filter. Once I'm done with this, I got to put the fuel tank on it. Well, add water to the radiator, then put the fuel tank on there. The fuel tank is full. Don't know how long this has been sitting. I opened the gas cap and smelled in there. The gas did not smell bad, so I'm hoping it's good. Because then, if not, then I got to drain the gas tank and then get more fuel. Hoping this will run today, because this will be my last video for at least a week because I'm going on vacation for a week for Thanksgiving. So I won't be making any more content. So I'm hoping it runs so I can order the rest of the parts to get this back together and ready for sale. One quart filled it up pretty good. Just gotta add some, when it runs it'll go down a little bit because it has to fill up that filter. So I'll put half of this in there just in case, and then we'll top it off after it's running. A little more than half. Down quite a bit. It's almost half. Don't have a chain on there. If you remember the last videos, I did take the chain off because it was binding. Once I get it running, then I'll order all that and we'll take it for a test drive. You know, and the engine may run well, but you really don't know until you test drive it because the transmission may pop out of gear or something. You never know. Clutch does feel good. And now let's put some water in here. All right, I topped the radiator up with some water. I just put the tank over the top, connected the connector, and put the fuel line back on there. Turn the ignition, it's lit up. And let's see, I heard the pump prime. Pump is priming. Let's see what happens. Ah, fail. And we have more juice. Still not enough juice. Uh-oh. Battery's pretty dead. Showing no signs of spinning. Let it charge a little bit. My jump box is a little on the old side. It doesn't produce a lot of amps. itself out. Hope the starter's not bad. I'm gonna have to swap that. At least I have the starter. Nothing. It's not even attempting to turn. Drain is leaking. Where is it? I can't tell. Well, this is not what I expected. And again, it is eBay. It's not even attempting to turn. Alright, let me see if I can turn this thing over by hand. Assuming these are the timing marks. All the screwdrivers flathead. All right, so I'm going back in reverse here. I don't know why I didn't do it before, but when I got the engine, it was tipped forward, and there was oil that was coming out of the exhaust ports and stuff. So, because they shipped it with full oil, usually they don't allow you to do that. So I'm gonna take a guess here, and hopefully there's just oil filled in the cylinders, and the engine won't turn over. So I had to take the airbags back off. I'm gonna pull the spark plugs and then hopefully relieve that pressure, because the pistons are trying to push up against oil or liquid and it doesn't compress, so it feels like it's locking the engine. So I'm praying that that's the problem, and we'll see what happens. I think there's 16 mil. station. Misplacing my tools here. If this doesn't work, I'll swap out that starter. Cut myself bad. Looks good. Don't feel any oil. So I'm gonna guess that the starter's bad. And if that's not bad, then this sucker is locked up solid. Nope, that looks good. Need the computer. Put it away. Nothing. So not even trying to. So let's yank that starter and swap it out. Well, it's not looking good. I pulled the starter that was in there, tested it. It seems to be working. I took the starter off the old engine, tested it. Appears to be working. So this is not looking very promising. Once again, eBay fails me. So I'm gonna put the old starter from the blown up engine back in there to kind of rule that out completely. And then if it doesn't start again, then I'm gonna pull the side cover off and see if I can crank it by hand. Kind of sucks because I got fresh oil in there, so when I pull the side cover off, it's all gonna leak out. All right, let's get to work. All right, put the old starter from the old engine, connected everything back up. Let's pray. Starters normally don't fail, but here goes nothing. Awesome. Now that's a relief. Let me put the spark plugs in, get the air box and everything back in, and let's try again to get this thing to run. I'm not going to bore you guys with the same routine. You already saw me put the air box and everything on, so the power of video, you'll see it all done. All right, got everything back together. Everything's just loose. The tank's just sitting there because I do have to pull the tank off to replace that air filter and some of the other parts when I get them. I'm gonna hopefully find and order a left side fairing and a nose fairing because those are damaged, but that's another date. Here we go. Let's start it up and see what happens.